Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, The Dangers of Paper-Based Risk Assessment and How to Transition to the Right Risk Assessment Software. I'm Josh from Evaluate EHS. I speak with EHS professionals every day looking to move away from paper-based systems or kind of a mix of paper-based and multiple systems to find a final ideal solution for their business. Today, we're going to be talking about why paper-based risk assessments are a serious problem, how to choose the right risk assessment software for your business, and how to ensure your team actually uses it, because believe it or not, that is often the biggest challenge beyond finding the right software is getting the team to use it. So by the end of this session, you'll have practical steps to make your risk management process more efficient and compliant. You will know what to look for from risk assessment software, and hopefully you will have a clear plan on how to get buy-in and use from your team. So let's just do a quick overview of the problem with paper-based risk assessments. Paper-based risk assessments may seem simple and familiar in theory. They are easy, they should be, but the reality is they come with major downsides, which I think most businesses are experiencing now. Certainly, all the businesses that I speak to on a daily basis and our team do. So the first one is people. They are prone to human error. That could be missing signatures, it could be incorrect data, it could be lost paperwork. Where there is people writing things out every single time, whether it's on a piece of paper, whether it's in a Word document, if they're having to do that every single time, you are opening the floor to errors. And when we are talking health and safety, obviously that is something we don't want. And on the topic of people, where there is people, there is time. And in business, time is money, or in safety, time is a safety critical task not being attended to. Manually completing risk assessments, going to find documents, chasing for signatures, everything that comes with manually doing risk assessments on paper or Word. Causes time to be lost, and it can be a significant amount of time if you are having to complete a lot of risk assessments. And then obviously there is the lack of real-time data and slow responses when risk assessments are needed, or when risks need to be addressed, or when people need to check information. There is a serious loss of time when you are doing that through paper, Word, Excel, however you may be doing it. And that obviously flows into compliance issues. There is difficulty tracking updates. If you will face an audit, it can be an absolute nightmare trying to pull all them out of the filing cabinet in the back of the office. And setting and checking corrective actions is just an absolute myth. And finally, you've got the environmental impact as well. There is a huge unnecessary waste and inefficiency factor if you are still doing your risk assessments on paper. These challenges can put your business at risk of non-compliance, increased workforce incidents, and even legal consequences, which we obviously don't want. So, why are businesses switching to digital solutions? It's basically the opposite of everything I have just said. Many companies, certainly the ones I speak to, are recognizing the advantages of switching to risk assessment software, or purpose-built risk assessment software anyway. And this comes in the form of reduced admin. So that's stuff like automated workflows to reduce admin time and prevent those errors. With the right software, you can take a risk assessment which may have taken half an hour to do, down to 10 minutes or less, and the accuracy of that data in there is 10 times more reliable. You've then obviously got real-time reporting, and it ensures instant access to critical safety information. So anyone on your team can access these at any point. You don't need to phone the office or check your emails or WhatsApp, God forbid if you're using WhatsApp to send a risk assessment through. Your entire team has access to these risk assessments wherever and whenever they need them. And then from a compliance perspective, having it all in one piece of software creates easy audit trails for compliance and regulatory inspections. Cloud-based storage means no lost documents. Mobile access, as I've alluded to, means workers can complete risk assessments and access them whilst they are on site, on job, whatever it may be. And a digital system not only protects your employees, but also saves you as a business time and money. So, on the whole, they are fantastic. But how do you know which one is right for you? Because there is a lot of options out there. On the face of it, they all may seem to do and say the same thing, but the reality is they absolutely don't, and different software is suitable for different business. So, let's jump into it. The first thing you should look at when you are assessing risk assessment software is obviously compatibility with your needs. So, what kind of risk assessments are you doing now? Do you need a special 6x6 risk matrix, or are you using the standard 5x5? Can the software support that? Does it even generate a 5x5 risk matrix? Some don't, so do check that. So after compatibility of kind of what you're doing, does the software offer that? You've got ease of use, because no matter how good the software is, or how much you pay or don't pay for the software, if it's not easy to use, your team will not use it. And I have seen this time and time again, where companies have come to us from using what are allegedly market leading software providers. They're meant to be the best of the best, creme de la creme, top spec, top price, everything. And they are just an absolute nightmare to use. And their team don't adopt them. So the software might as well not exist. So, can your team quickly adopt it without months and weeks of training? Can they pick it up? Is it self explanatory? Can you hide anything they don't need to see, so they're not getting distracted with all this stuff? Because various parts of the workforce, they'll just see a load of stuff and think, oh, no, 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 I don't need that. So is it easy to use? Can it be tailored to your specific risk assessments? As I said, does it match your criteria? Automations and integration. So, does it integrate with your wider health and safety system? Does it integrate with your HR system or any other systems that you may need it to integrate with? Typically, this is just the wider health and safety system. Chances are, if you don't have risk assessment software, this is your first step into a health and safety system. So, what I would advise is looking for a provider that can go on to provide you with the other things your business will need as you grow or as you take on new contracts, such as if you've got risk assessments, there's a good chance at some point you're going to need to provide RAMS documents. With a RAMS document, you'll probably need to provide COSH in there. You'll probably need audits and inspections at some point. And if you get to a certain size, you will want accident and incident reporting. So it's well worth investigating the various providers and making sure that if you don't need all that right now, you can bolt it on further down the line, and that bolt on will not be ridiculously expensive. So that is one where a lot of businesses fall down, and then they come speak to like us, evaluate, and they'll have gone with a cheap provider that did solely risk assessments, for example, and now they've grown, they've got a new contract, whatever it may be, and they need all these other bits that can't be bolted on by that original provider. And then they've got to go through a whole process of porting all those risk assessments into our software. Whereas if you'd have just taken the risk assessment module with Evaluate EHS, you could simply drop us an email, give us a call, and said, we'd like to bolt on the RAMs, the audits, inspections, whatever it may be. And there would not have to be that changing software, getting that buy-in from leadership, getting that buy-in from the team, you having to do all the manual work of porting it over. It's all there. So please do ensure that whichever provider you go with can support you further down the line. Mobile accessibility is a given. Can employees use it on site with tablets or mobile devices? Can they access some risk assessments? Can they sign them? Can they view them? Can they share them? We health and safety is not a desk-bound job, and certainly those that are going out on site are not desk-bound, and they do not have the luxury of sitting at a cozy desk with a laptop or computer. So whatever software it is, it needs to work on a mobile. And compliance features, does it align with industry regulations and provide you with an easy audit trail for the day that audit does come around, or you want to get an ISO or whatever it may be? The software will be a critical part of that. So make sure there is an easy and clear audit trail that you can provide through the software. And then finally, cost versus ROI. So you've got to consider the cost, and as I alluded to before, there is a lot of vendors out there, varying prices on the market. Some are cheap, and that's fine if you're only doing maybe one or two risk assessments a month and you don't need anything beyond that. Then fine, go with them. But if you're doing more than that and your scope of health and safety goes beyond just risk assessments, then really start to look at the vendors from a not only a kind of, can they support us in the long term with our additional health and safety requirements as we grow, but also exactly how much time can this, using this software, save us. Because when it comes to putting a case together to senior leadership to maybe get budget for this or sign off with your partners, whatever it may be, it always comes back to, well, how much time is this going to save us? Because unfortunately, time and money speak louder than compliance until something goes wrong. So really assess and try and put into a figure, a number, how much time using this vendor can save you, and then what does that time saved relate to in terms of wages, money saved, whatever it may be, and then obviously how would they, using this software, reduce incidents, accidents, whatever it may be, admin time. And then evaluating all these factors will help you find a solution that fits your business, budget, and industry. And that is really important. So, how do you get your team to use the new system? It starts with leadership buy-in. As I said before, it doesn't matter how good the system is. If you do not get your team to use it, it might as well not exist. So it starts with leadership buy-in, and they're the directors, they're the senior management, everyone like that in your business. Those who would rubber stamp the approval of the budget for the software, say yes, you can go get it, to those that are responsible for encouraging the team on the ground to use it. So you start with them, and that's buy-in. Can be having conversations ahead of going out to market and talking to vendors, just warming people up, letting them know that you're thinking of doing this and getting them on side, to bringing them into the demos once you've got kind of a list of 3 possible vendors that you think can be suitable. If you bring them into demos then and let them be a part of the process, typically you get a lot more buy-in from leadership and getting everyone to understand it. And then from a manager's point of view, it's more talking to them about how much time this would save them, how much less admin they'll be doing, how more effective the team will be, that kind of stuff. Training and onboarding. So this is really important. Ideally, the system doesn't require the day-to-day user to have too much training. It should be quite intuitive. But from a manager's point of view, or anybody else that may need advanced access and features, you need to ensure that they're aware they will have training, they will have support, and there is a clear onboarding process for them. And that comes in some ways from you, but most of that should be from your software vendor. They should offer training, support, onboarding, work with you for a full process to ensure you do get this buy-in. And you should make it easy, which basically means choose a vendor that has an easy to use, easy to understand kind of user interface. You don't want anything that's too complicated. You don't want anything that looks too flashy. The more someone has to think, the quicker they'll switch off, really. And then you highlight the benefits, as I've said multiple times, how much time it'll save, how much more effective your business from a health and safety perspective would be, how much more you can get done. You could potentially take on more contracts because you're able to do these risk assessments quicker, whatever it may be. And get feedback from employees during the process of procuring a vendor. Change can be challenging, but for most people, it is scary. But when managed correctly, it is fantastic for everyone and the business. So let's recap what we've discussed and kind of what your next steps are. So if we recap, even the best software won't work if your team doesn't use it. So paper-based risk assessments, I also include Excel, Word in this, to be honest. They create inefficiencies, vulnerabilities, issues, compliance risk, all sorts of things. You know that. That's why you're watching this video. We need to stop it. Digital software and solutions are the way forward. It's the way the rest of the world has gone. It's about time health and safety caught up. So they streamline processes, improve safety, and ensure compliance. Choosing the right software and the right vendor, and I like to think of them as a safety partner, not just a software provider. They should be a safety partner to you. Requires evaluating ease of use, integration with your wider health and safety needs or any other business needs. What return on investment will you get? Kind of what does the onboarding and support look like? What does additional training and support after the onboarding process look like? Can my team pick this up quickly and use it easily? Can it be used on a mobile? There's all sorts to consider there. And adoption success depends on leadership, support, training, understanding from the full health and safety team and the wider business about why you are now taking this step. So that's everything from me on choosing the right risk assessment software and how to move away from a paper-based Word Excel-based system. I hope you found this useful. I'm Josh from Evaluate EHS. We do risk assessment software, RAMS, accident incident, audit and inspections, COSH, lone worker, you name it. We are the full health and safety system. If you are interested in a demonstration or a self-guided tour where you can have a look at the software yourself, just get in touch with us either through the website or social media or wherever you want to. Just get in touch with us. Ask us for a demo. We'll happily provide you with what you need, answer any questions. We don't do hard sells. We're just keen to be the best partner for as many companies as possible. So I wish you the best of luck on your risk assessment software journey. Please do reach out to us or myself personally if you've got any questions. And thank you very much for joining.